Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I wanted to answer the question, what is Sonic 3 and Knuckles? This video is aimed at people who know nothing about Sonic 3 and Knuckles and have always been curious. Hopefully it will serve as a good starter guide for you. So Sonic 3 and Knuckles was a platform game that came out in 1994. It was a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which came out in 1992. It's a platform game. As you can see, you're jumping around and playing as Sonic. Sonic is super fast. Like that's the whole idea of him. So at the time, like way back in the early 90s, I think everyone was kind of obsessed with either Sonic or Mario, and in a few cases both. But at the time, I was definitely a Sega slash Sonic person. So like I didn't have anything against Mario, I just preferred this gameplay because it was a lot quicker. And at the time as well, I thought it was a lot easier than Mario. 8-year-old Mithrie would be looking at this gameplay that I'm doing right now and would be so disappointed because when I was a small kid, I used to be able to fly through this like day after day after day because like I didn't really have many games growing up. Not because I'm not going to say that was from a poor background. I'm not, but it's just a case of my parents just didn't get me anything. I would have to like beg for months and months and months to have any sort of game. So this was one of the few games I had growing up as a kid. I remember like God, when I was in primary school, I would have to work hard all week, do all my homework, not get in trouble, things like that. Then I would on Saturdays I would go to a language class to learn Arabic, and then on Sundays I would then go to a sports club because I used to play squash and racquetball back then. And then when I came back from the sports club, my parents would literally give me 1 hour a week. That's it. I had 1 hour a week to play my games. And every time I would always pick Sonic the Hedgehog. So simple as that. And I would run through this whole game. I will get it done over and over again. I think in the like I got to a point where in the hour I could fit in like two runs, two complete runs beginning to end. So like I said, like young baby Mithrie would be really disappointed with how badly I'm playing right now. So this gameplay is from the Steam version. There's been many re-releases, Mega Drive collections, and so on. In at the time in America, the console was called the Sega Genesis. In Europe and the UK, it was called the Sega Mega Drive. So in case you've heard the two names, it's the same console, and basically it was the reason why I begged for to get the console was for this game. I was so well. I mean, I've always been obsessed with games, but at the time I was really obsessed. This was probably my first obsession for Sonic 3. Now, since then, I've kind of like not fallen out of love with Sonic, and I think a lot of people have because like a lot of the game releases that have come out since then have been awful. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to link in the description useful game reviews and stuff like that related to the Sonic franchise. Like Video Game Donkey, he basically hates Sonic. It's actually really funny. But saying that, they then recently had a fan-made game called Sonic Mania, which took it back to the roots of Sonic, which is games like this. And they revamped it, they added new maps, things like that. And in that situation, Donkey gave it a perfect 5 out of 5 score. So at the time, this was one of the best games that was available. It really was. Like for a very short time, the Sonic managed to propel Sega to having even a bigger market share than even Nintendo. Of course, that was short lived, but it showed the sort of significance of this game at the time. So it's a shame, that's life. Things happen, things change. It was mostly at the time of moving towards 3D. So when Mario moved to 3D, there was Mario 64, which is I think is still one of the best games of all time. But then Sonic moved to 3D, and it was a complete and utter mess. Um, but not to take anything away from Sega, like Sega are still making fantastic games along the way, and this will always serve as one of the classics at the time because the gameplay is super fast. I mean, you can imagine in the early 90s, this gameplay was incredibly quick, unbelievable. Also, as well, the music is fantastic and memorable even until now. There is um, basically since then I found out that Michael Jackson was actually responsible for some of the soundtrack, and I was like, well, that's no surprise to me. There's like the king of pop, long may he reign, sort of thing. And basically, like, it's kind of almost sad to see this because so many years have gone by. You know, it's like it's been 25 years since this. So, but really, guys, for me, this was my youth. It really was my youth. I absolutely loved this game. I found that playing it on Steam is actually a little bit like the controls are not as responsive for some whatever reason. That's why I keep messing up. So I want to be able to blame the game rather than blame myself. But yeah, there's like a little bit of input delay. But they have, like I said, there's been a lot of releases and re-releases since then. So, wow, what the hell am I doing? I forget it. So yeah. Now, with any sort of side-scrolling game, you have many paths that you can take through each level. You don't. It's not just go beginning to end and that's it, and there's one way to do it. There's so many different paths. If you can make certain jumps and so on, and if Tails helps you, because Tails can fly, so you can actually have a second player playing with a second controller controlling Tails separately, and he can, because he can fly, he can also lift up Sonic, but he's got a limited amount of stamina, so he can only lift you so long. And then Knuckles had his own abilities as well, because you could actually play through this game as Knuckles specifically. And the difference was is that Knuckles couldn't jump anywhere near as high as Sonic, but with his Knuckles, he could climb walls, he could punch and destroy blocks and things like that. So there's some paths that only Knuckles can take, and some paths that only Sonic can take because of the difference in abilities. So when I saw that sort of thing, believe me, like young me, like my mind was like like blown. And throughout the story as well, Knuckles is actually working with Dr. Robotnik to help defeat you because he thinks actually you're a bad guy. Until later in the game, he realizes that in fact you're the good guy and Dr. Robotnik is a bad guy. And then they team up. And believe me, when I first saw that as a kid, again, my mind, I was like, oh my god, incredible. Now, I remember seeing like this sequence that you're seeing on the screen right now. I remember they would feature this sequence in the TV ads for the game, and I was like, "Oh my god!" You know, the sort of menacing um, crashes of the airship and dropping those missiles, but Sonic flying through the distance, being able to um, I believe I did really badly here. Being able to outrun it just because he's so good. So yeah. Now, in this version of the game, for whatever reason, like Tails just gets me killed over and over and over again. Like I remember streaming it. I'm sure that a few of my viewers would remember. I was streaming this game and Tails got me killed like 20 times throughout the one stream. So that was pretty funny. So yeah, now guys, since then, Sonic is still one of the staple characters of Sega. So everything Sega is Sonic and vice versa. So I still have hope that one day Sonic will regain his glory. I don't think he'll never be able to at this point ever to catch up to Mario. Like Mario has had too many perfect score releases, like Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, and so on. But it Sega still exists, Sonic still exists. So I have hope for the future that we can recapture this magic. Also, as well, recently they released a fan made game called Sonic Mania, which had support from real fans of the game and also the Sonic team, and it was absolutely fantastic. I really really enjoyed it. It was basically taking elements from all of the previous games and some of the levels from the old games, adding in new stuff, new mechanics, new bosses, new animations, and so on, but still being dedicated to the beauty and the amazingness that was this game. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, I could talk about Sonic the Hedgehog all day, but you know I've got things to do. So, guys, tell me in those comments down below. Did you like Sonic the Hedgehog? What does it mean to you? Did you play this game back in the early 90s? Like, I want to know and sharing the memories. Us old gamers. You know, I'm 35 now. Basically, by today's standards, I'm ancient. So yeah. And guys, as well, please help me reach my next goal that I put in the about section of my YouTube channel. Okay. Sorry, I'm just 25 years. 25 years. Wow. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there. Or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.